Here is a look at the Yoto Mini, which is the smaller of the two devices that Yoto has available. The Yoto Mini, as you can see, fits pretty easily in the hand. You can get a sense for the dimensions of it in my hand. This is the slot where cards are put in so that it will begin playing audiobooks or music, which I'll show in a little bit. On this side, there is an auxiliary jack for external headphones, or I believe you can use an external speaker if you like. This is the bottom of the device, and the front with the speaker and a little screen, a couple of buttons. And then over here is the power button and the USB-C slot for charging the device. So I'm going to go ahead and power it on by holding down the power button. And you'll see that it's powering on, and it is also checking to see if it can connect to my local Wi-Fi connection, if there's one available. And once it's ready to play a card, you will see the screen change there to the time, and it usually will show a little preview of the weather there with the sun and some clouds. So now it's ready. I'm going to grab a card and go ahead and just drop it into the slot here. And it starts playing the first track on the playlist. So I can control the volume with this knob here by turning it this way, or turn it back quieter again. And I can also navigate to the next track by pushing the button on this side, and I can go on to other tracks on the playlist. Or I can go back by pushing the button on the other side here and to listen to any of these other tracks. If I want to skip ahead quite a bit farther in the playlist, then I can spin this knob and navigate to whatever track I'm looking for here. And then if I want to pause the track, I can push the power button just once quickly and it will pause, and then I can unpause it the same way. Of course, I can also stop the music by simply taking the card out, and it will stop. If I put the card back in, it'll remember where I was. As long as it hasn't been too much time that has passed, it'll remember. I think as long as you haven't powered down the device or let it fall asleep after a certain amount of time, then it'll remember. Otherwise, it'll just go back to the first track on the playlist. So that's the basics of how the Yoto Mini works. Yoto has made available lots and lots of cards on their website to choose from. I highly recommend this set of classical music that comes from Naxos, I believe is what the recordings are come from, the recording label. I've also done a lot to create cards of my own. So Yoto makes available make your own cards, and so I've taken recordings of things that I use frequently in my piano teaching and made a bunch of my own custom cards just to have those tracks easily available when I teach piano. So this is my Yoto player that I use in my piano studio as a piano teacher. My two daughters also each have their own Yoto players that they use more personally for music as well as for audiobooks. So these make your own cards are nice for your own kinds of tracks that you might want to use. So the way that these are done is just to get the make your own card like I mentioned, and then you can upload your tracks to either the website or the Yoto app on your phone. Create your playlist, and then there's an easy process that you go through to associate that playlist with the card that you have, and that's done by either tapping the card to your device that you're setting up from your phone, or you can do it by dropping it in the slot of your player, and then anyway, once that setup process is complete, then this will function just like the cards that I showed you there and play whatever tracks you've uploaded. As far as what you see visually on these cards, so these are images that I created myself using a program called Canva, but you can use any kind of photo editor kind of program or website. And then I printed these images out using my home printer onto sticker paper. So this is essentially just a big sticker that I've cut out. I also laminated the sticker paper before applying it as a sticker, just to kind of give it more protection on the surface of it and give it that shiny gloss and some durability. And that's basically it for how you can create your own custom cards. As far as my daughters go, we've really enjoyed having the Yoto Player as a device that allows them to have their own autonomy for listening to books and music. So the Yoto company has made available lots and lots of cards for classic books that you probably are already familiar with. Those are some that my younger daughter really is enjoying right now. I've also created some custom cards for my daughters as well. My older daughter has been really into the Berenstain Bear books, and so for this one we did a make your own card that just has my voice reading a bunch of the books that we have here at home. And same with this one, the Harry McCleary books, which I highly recommend if you haven't heard of those. Those are wonderful. As far as music goes, there's lots of music options. This is Laurie Berkner music, which both of my girls have really enjoyed hearing her music. Something else that Yoto has made available that my older daughter has really enjoyed are these travel cards. I think this is a set of 6, where 2 kids are traveling all over the world and visiting different countries and continents and learning about the different places. And so that just gives you some idea of what's available on the Yoto website. You can also connect to podcasts. And so there's one, the Classics for Kids radio station has been around for a really long time. And so that's one that it's not the same as a playlist because it's being connected to content that is regularly updated and changed over time. But that's really neat that you can make a card for that as well, and it'll just pull up the latest podcast episodes. So I've been able to find some that were related to classical music. There's lots of other kid-based podcasts as well that my girls have enjoyed. And Yoto also recently created a Yoto classical radio station, and so that's another one that you can connect to for free as long as you have one of these make your own cards. So anyway, that's just kind of a sampling of some of the things that you can access using the Yoto Player and the Yoto card system. I highly recommend it. It's been a really fun thing for my own daughters, and it's also been a really useful teaching tool for me as a piano teacher, just to have a device that I can easily pull up tracks that I want to play for my students in the lesson without having to pull out my big computer and have the big screen or to be on my phone. So that's just a little look at the Yoto Mini.